So today I have Carmen Stockton here with me, really funny comedian in Calgary. Thanks a lot, Carmen, for doing this with me.
No problem, Kempton.
So let me ask you, when you were young, like there's a story of a Lego phone and a famous comedian, Gilda Radner. So can you tell us the story, please?
Well, if you don't know, Gilda Radner was on Saturday Night Live in the mid-'70s, kind of around the time of Jim Belushi. So Jim Belushi is like the big, and Dan Aykroyd was also on the show at that time, so it was part of that great crew. But I used to watch her do Rosanna Dana, and I just was so amazed that someone could do that for a living. And I also used to watch SCTV too with Andrea Martin. So I was obsessed with Lego and obsessed with Gilda Radner and Elvis, but that's another story. And so I used to build a telephone out of Lego, and I would call and try and book myself on Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm. So you were a little comedian then. How old were you?
I was born in 1971. I was very little, 5, 6 years old.
5, 6 years old?
Yeah.
So you like to entertain and get your attention even when you're there. Mm-hmm.
Very much so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when and how did you start in comedy? Did you start your comedy act in Yuck Yucks, and there's a story behind that?
I started stand-up at Yuck Yucks, but I started doing, I did a little comedy show at lunchtime in high school. Me and my friend Iam used to dress up like ABBA, and we would do ABBA retro performances in the lunchroom theater, or in the theater at lunchtime at our school.
Like actually a theater, or just in a corner?
Like the drama theater.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, it was, I can't remember what the name of the lunchtime show was. Two other guys that were improv people started it. And so we started to do ABBA on it. So I did comedy whenever I could. In junior high, I love impersonating people, especially not famous people, but just people in general. So I used to often get kicked out of class, and the first time was grade 6, Mrs. Bromhead at Marion Parsons. If you're out there, that was very mean. But she left. She had big, crazy orange hair and was a real character, really over the top. And so whenever she left the room, I would impersonate Mrs. Bromhead writing on the chalkboard. And one day she came back in, and everyone was laughing and laughing. She came back early, and all of a sudden I was writing on the board, and I couldn't see the back of me. And of course she'd come back to the class, but I didn't know that. I thought my jokes were bombing. And so I just tried harder and harder, and it just was so silent. And then this really awful feeling in my stomach, because then I finally clued in what was happening. I turned around, and she was there, and she's just so angry, and locked me in the, she took me down the hall, and there was a little narrow room where the books were, and so she put me in there, and I remember the lunch bell rang, and I watched all of my friends' footsteps walk underneath the door. I was locked up for lunchtime. So, and then when I got to grade 9, I did the same thing to my art teacher, Miss Harris. So I was impersonating Miss Harris at the board on a Friday afternoon. And the class got quiet again. By this time I'd learned my lesson. I realized she was back in the class, and I turned around, and she had a big grin on her face and walked up to me, and she said, you're really good at that. So how about every once in a while you just teach the class for Friday afternoon? And so I did that in grade 9. I would entertain the class and impersonate her. And then just little...
So that teacher actually was quite, what is the word? Very, kind of redirect your energy in some way.
She's one of the first ones
instead of challenging you and punishing you.
Punishing me for being funny.
Yeah.
And one of the first times I understood that if you do it right and without malice, because I wasn't putting her down in any way, I was just being her, people can get real joy out of that themselves, even if that's who you're impersonating. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So that was in school, and tell us what happened when you were 19 and the song by Meatloaf. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Oh, well, I didn't know what to do after high school, and I was looking for work, and, well, I wasn't, that's a lie. I was just sitting there eating pizza, watching Arsenio Hall night after night, and my mom just finally blew and said, "You have got to do something with your life." So I married a vacuum cleaner salesman with a lazy eye, and the bit that I do in my comedy is true, because our wedding song was 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad by Meatloaf. So that was my big venture into the world at 19, and that lasted for about a year. And when I turned 20, 21, that's when I started to do, there was a night called Celebrating Women that was nearby, so I started to do comedy sketches at that. And I can't remember all the places that were around in the early 90s here in Calgary, but I would just kind of go and do sketches, slideshows, fake interviews with celebrities that would come over the speaker, and I would act as if they were talking to me live on the stage. And then I wrote 2 shows that went up in 2 different festivals. The first was Rubbernecking, and then the second one called Afterthought. I think that was
how long were those shows?
The Rubbernecking was 30 minutes, just under 30. It was a short one-act play festival that I was in, and then the second one was about 40, 45 minutes, hit or miss. Depends if we were getting laughs or not. And it was me and one other person in that, because it was about me and my marriage. So it was me and Graham Davies. And that was, I think, 95. So 93 was the first, and then 95 was the second.
And that was before or after your Yuck Yucks gigs, or getting
before.
to be known? Before?
That was my first, after I did the second show, that's when I went and became a hairdresser, and thought I was going to leave it behind and walk away from it, and that lasted about 2 years. And I took basically most of the writing that I'd done in my early 20s and condensed it into a 10-minute set, and called Yuck Yucks, and did amateur nights. And it was basically 7 years of writing condensed. So it was a really, really great routine to walk in with. It wasn't completely brand new and unrehearsed. So it went really well, and that's when I started Yuck Yucks.
So next I'm going to ask you to show me your notebooks and your comedy bag.